I brought one of my roots in and cut off the roots that I want to use. Some of them were really, really skinny and scrawny, and I just got rid of those. You may want to use all of it, but I just got the bigger pieces that I want to work with and cut off any greens that were left, kind of made it a washable, more easy way to deal with. And right now I'm just simply rinsing it off in the water to get all the dirt off. It's probably best to just brush it off, but it was kind of rainy. I didn't have a lot of options today. So I'm going to brush all this dirt off, and then I'm going to pat it dry. Okay, I've got my horseradish root patted dry, and now it's time to store it. So we have several options here. We can leave it in the ground in the garden, what we're not digging, and you can continue to dig that throughout the winter and spring as long as your ground isn't frozen. So I do have some left out there that I'll do that with. Another thing I have read is that you can put that horseradish root directly into that bucket of damp sand and keep it over winter that way. I've not done it. You'll have to look up how to do that. Another option is to take your dried off roots and just store them in a plastic bag in your crisper in your refrigerator, which is what I'm going to do with this stuff. I hear it'll keep well for months. I've read you can put a damp paper towel around it or not, so I'm going to just stick it in the bag and keep it in that crisper drawer and see how long it stays fresh like that. Another thing that I did last year was I froze it. I read you could freeze it, and I did the same thing. When you're storing it, though, do not peel it. Leave that on there. Otherwise, I think that you're going to start losing some of the oil. But what I did last year was I froze the root. I got it in batches that I thought I would use, and I used my vacuum sealer and just froze them after I washed them off. And that seemed to do really well. I just used some about a week ago, and the horseradish seemed a little wilty, limp. I'm not sure what to say. Still tasted really good, but it kind of changed the consistency a bit, so I'm going to do it differently this year by just keeping it in the refrigerator. And then finally, I've got this huge bit of root right here. And by the way, I also have another pile out there on the sidewalk that I dug up, so I have plenty more. I've got this big piece here, and I'm going to go ahead and make some horseradish. And I'm going to do a video on that as well, but I'm going to make a horseradish sauce out of it, and then I'll add that to mayonnaise. I will add that to mustard. I will eat that straight with meat and things. It's delicious. So I'm looking forward to having that on a hamburger, as a matter of fact, tonight. So that is another way to store it, is you can process it up really fine with some vinegar and I believe some salt and water. And you can just store that in jars in your refrigerator. And my understanding is it'll stay really nice and hot for months that way too. So I'm going to try some of that as well. So I hope you try horseradish. It's really a cool thing to have around if you enjoy it, which I love the taste of horseradish. And it is so easy to work with and to grow. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your comments.